If you've been wanting to get rid of these nasal labial folds, this floppy sausage rolls that sort of come down here and make us look older than we are, stay tuned. I'm going to show you how I work that area on my clients here in my treatment room. That's coming up next. So I'm just going to be taking off my makeup in the area that I'll be working. It's a shame to put all this makeup on and then have to take it right back off. Are you with me, ladies? So I'm going to start out with some LED just to get the muscles warmed up. And depending on your LED, this one has a treatment saturation time of 3 to 8 minutes. So I would do it for 5 minutes on each side. Really, that's a long time, and I would probably only do it for 3 minutes on my skin because it reacts quickly to LED. But for our purposes here, you can stop the video and start again and just do your time on each side. So now I'm breaking out the ANMA, which is a gua sha tool, and we're just gonna loosen up the area further. It's nice to warm up the tissues with the LED and then go in and release any fascia restriction. And I'm going to show you how to do this with your fingers only if you don't have a gua sha tool like this. I like to do it on a dry skin to start because it requires you to use a lighter touch. And then later on, you can add a little bit of oil and go deeper. These areas tend to collect a lot of inflammation, so working this out is a good idea. So I'm just grabbing a little bit of massage oil. And I don't want to put too much on because I'll be doing microcurrent later. So see how now I can really dig in and get up underneath the cheek area. And these cheek muscles can get really contracted when we smile a lot and laugh a lot. It's great for our mood, but it will tend to flatten that muscle. And so on all my clients, I grab, I'll either do it with my fingers or I'll do it with the ANMA, and I will release their cheeks, and their cheeks kind of float right up after that. It's really nice. It also helps them lift better with microcurrent afterwards. And so here I'm showing just the fingers only way of releasing the cheeks. So this area is very, very dense fascia, and so it can take a little more pressure. And I'm just I'm riding along the bone here, and I'm sort of going inch by inch to release some of that stuck fascia. And this should feel good, especially if you have sinuses. And so this is the pinch, and it sends a message to whatever muscle we're pinching that it needs to relax. And so don't do what I did in the beginning and overly pull the bottom lid down. Just sort of pinch the top of the cheek. And this is a muscle activation technique where we are trying to get the complex of cheek muscles to pull back in the direction that they naturally do. This is something I learned from Jane Mann, and I thought, wow, that's muscle activation therapy. I do this for other areas of my body, and it works really well. So just grabbing some conductive gel, because we're going to be doing some modalities that need minerals and water to conduct. So pulling out the Time Master Pro, this is ultrasound, LED, EMS, and electroporation. And so I'm just using these moves. When you're trying to lift the cheek and work on the nasal labial fold, you got to lift that cheek. And so there are muscles going up and down, sort of by the nose, and then there are muscles that go across, and they both help lift the cheek. So that's what I'm working here. I love this Time Master Pro. It's so fast. looks like I'm grooving with this thing, but I don't know. I start moving like it's making the treatment better for some reason. It's just a goofy thing I do. I'm feeling it. So yeah, it's sort of kind of a V movement or a triangular movement that helps get this to pop out. And I'm just doing a little bit of stimulation in that same muscle activation point we were doing earlier. And these are basically vectors that help move the cheeks up. This is my little battery case it's a phone charger. And this is how I use my Clareblend Mini without having to plug it into the wall. So once again, this is microcurrent. We always want to end with microcurrent because we want to leave the muscles taut and retrained, and don't want to do anything after this that would relax the muscles. We want to just keep them up there. And I'm actually going too fast. These are usually 10-second glide moves, but for the video purpose, I always go faster because it would be really boring for you guys to watch if I went the speed I'm supposed to. But yes, they're usually 10-second holds or 10-second moves. So this is another way to lift the cheeks. Those levators, or your sneer muscles, is what I was lifting right there. And I always like to scoop up underneath the cheek. It's just a little further fascia release. Again, lifting the levators. So the cheeks absolutely can lift. I think once they release some of the inflammation that forms in those nasolabial folds, that you get a nice tighter look and a refreshed look. So here I'm going to be doing some pinch and hold moves. I like to put my thumb underneath my cheek and then just put the mini one probe sort of on either side, the top and the bottom of the cheek. And this just gives a little more definition to the apple of the cheek. Kind of a different fun little hack that I like to do to really give clients' cheeks a pop. And it's a way I get around the fact that sometimes the mini can't clamp around a muscle, so I will just pinch it and clamp it around that way. This is a good technique if you have flatter cheeks. You just gotta roll that cheek up and then use the microcurrent over it to sort of craft it the way you want it to look. So there's the pinch and hold. Make sure it's not touching your fingers. Your fingers will get the microcurrent. And that's it. Thanks for watching.